Alright, the name of this presentation is Cultivating an Environment with Loud Student Voice Supports the School Environment. I am completing the iLead program within Douglas County and with Metro RESA. And this is a requirement. However, this presentation was born out of the experience that you guys had in your professional learning when the students came to present to you. All right, and if some people don't know what the presentation was all about, I'll go ahead and explain it right now so that everybody is on board. Some teachers were not able to come for various reasons. What happened is I have to, as an ESOL teacher, we're supposed to give professional development every year. So I planned my professional development, but I asked some of my 8th grade students if they would like to present to the teachers, if they would like to volunteer. So 3 of those students volunteered, and they taught a lesson to the teachers, 100% in Spanish. They gave them all their written assignments in Spanish so that they can have an empathetic view of what they go through in their classes. So this is a short-term action research project. I'm going to tell you guys all the results that came from it. But first, I want you guys to participate in these activities. All right? All right, so you have a little pocket folder on your table. It has, some of them have materials with instructions. Okay? You need to read those instructions and participate in each activity that I gave to you. Then I need you guys to answer the questions on the chart paper provided. There is a marker for you guys. You give them paper. And you may begin now. I'm going to give you guys about 10 minutes to work on those activities. And I will come around to you to see how you guys are doing. Okay? Okay, the timer went off for 10 minutes. Can you guys begin at some point? Begin answering the questions because I want to share out with the larger group.
What's supposed to be on the poster itself? Our collective responses to these?
Okay.
So why don't we number the paragraphs?
I need to get up anyway. So like this is
Do we number the paragraphs? Like let's do that. Let's use that reading strategy and number the paragraphs. And usually we don't have to write everything. So does this first one count? Olivia remembers the grade?
Because I underlined something. Here's mine. So here, and I'll do the writing if you want to use it. You want to highlight it. So you both know.
Bottom of the second page, top of the left, and looks like.
So can we also organize our thoughts? Kids? And you also organize your thoughts based on what you've been asked to do. Because it's about paragraph, a phrase, a keyword. So we're making it smaller and smaller and smaller. So do you think?
So maybe like a visual, like
Yes.
a pyramid.
Yes,
Is that
it's a
good?
pyramid.
Okay. Then we'll just do it written. I'm not gonna draw because I will mess these things up. So let's do this written and
You have an art teacher.
do that.
I'm pretty sure she can put a triangle over
And then I can. Do you want to do it in something lighter first? Or do you just want to freehand
I
it?
can't trust the art teacher to do this. No.
See me, I'd be measuring it up and making sure that that's perfectly centered. It would, you know what I'm saying? That's just me.
And so we're creating a graphic organizer so we share our ideas.
I'm gonna give you guys another.
How long? We got
5
this.
minutes.
Let's go.
5 more minutes, you guys.
Excuse me. We'll roll it up so that I don't have to
5 more minutes.
lean on it and mess it up. Okay, so what do we want to put?
Can we go in order of what's up? That'd be crazy.
I completely, it's going from larger to smaller.
So did anyone say the paragraph one resonated with them?
I did, but it was just with the list of learning strategies, materials, like the pictures, demonstrations, diagrams in the ELL.
I'll do areas of purchase.
Because, that's something I can identify with.
So anybody else say paragraph one? So paragraph one.
Oh, so that's how we're gonna do it? We're gonna just compile answers? I thought we were choosing from.
That's why I asked what we were supposed to present. She said we're just compiling responses.
Okay. You could just do paragraph on teaching strategies and materials. Maybe just to summarize.
Yeah, because I don't know if we're gonna have room to summarize.
Let's see how many. So we've got one person at paragraph. Anybody have paragraph two?
No, we can also have mine is about
I said time.
mine is about time, so we got teaching strategies.
Mine time. Yep, time. So if nobody had two, did anybody have three? I had three, of course, because that spoke specifically to content.
What about now?
Yes, but she understood the labs, but she had a hard time putting language to the explanation.
We don't know how to break it
So we can tally.
You could just put P1 teaching
I already wrote paragraphs, so I'm not, but I already wrote paragraphs, so I'm not gonna bother with it. Okay.
teaching strategies.
Nobody has to three. Yeah, paragraph three next.
What was in 3?
Difficulty accessing language to explain content. So difficulty accessing
Sorry, I already wrote science, so I just had to reword it. Okay.
Anybody have 4? 5? 6? Anybody on this page, period? You can't have circled more than one thing per paragraph.
Yeah, so we're just talking paragraphs right now, we're not on paragraphs.
I have paragraph 10 because it talks about the importance of teaching, giving teachers the tools they need. 20
I did underline some stuff there too.
So this one is about start out.
So that one seems to resonate with several people.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so yours was paragraph.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mine was community.
Paragraph 20.
Do we have anything else before that?
We have to go back unity lesson.
Oh, yeah.
What day?
Yeah.
Did you say community or unity?
The community. It says over here, unity in school and class. In this
Community is community. I have paragraph 23. No, paragraph 24. Time.
Okay, we have 30 seconds left.
24.
30 seconds left.
To proficient. Time to teach. No, I don't think proficiency. Miss Tommy, she was part of the brain.
Okay, the time is up now. If you're still writing, I'll come to you last.
The word for me was community.
Alright, can I have my red group? Can you tell them your activity and can you share some of the responses that you had with the larger group?
Okay, our activity was to read and internalize all of the quotes. There were quite a few, and select our top 3 and then narrow it down to 1 and share that with our group. All of us chose a different quote, but basically we decided that they were kind of all interrelated, and the one we chose as our representative was fair isn't everybody getting the same thing, fair is everybody getting what they need in order to be successful.
Right.
Because of all the compassionate, integrity-laced quotes and things that we saw, basically as far as our kids are concerned, we need to be fair to them where they are, no matter what their state, no matter, you know, what their development level, no matter their ESOL problems, challenges, financial challenges, home life challenges. We need to be fair and meet them where they are, basically, to teach them.
Okay, very good, thank you. Does anyone else in your group want to share? Okay, my yellow group. Are you ready? Orange. Can you explain your activity to them?
Okay, so we had 2 videos that we had to watch. They were testimonials of students from other countries, and then the experience they had when someone came to do a documentary at their school. And some of the questions we had to answer were the ethical implications, the legal implications, and if we're a leader at our school, what suggestions will we have to implement to assist marginalized students. And so our ethical implication we came up with was to show more empathy towards students' struggles and their biases and our biases and stereotypes. We have to change those towards students. And then the one about the legal implications, how much time will be spent trying to teach those who have greater struggles, or do you focus on those who can show more growth? Opportunities, whether documented versus undocumented, and the disclosures of such, and then our what suggestions we would have to implement. We came up with more mentors and parent outreach programs.
Okay, very good, thank you. And then my green group, can I have someone share the activity and your responses?
Oh, by all means. They're all good.
Okay, so the game was the family. You had a family, and they had to You had to choose if they were going to work, if they were going to go to school, if they were going to work on the family farm, if they were going to rest, and then you got a certain amount of money for each person doing that. Education costs money, and so you had to make choices. It was a family of 5, right? Family of 5, and you had to have enough money, or you know, people started getting sick, and the hurricane came, and all sorts of stuff. So it was interesting.
Does anyone else in the group want to share? In the Greens group?
So the message, just going off the questions on the green paper here, the message basically lets us know that families are all different in the way that they're made up depending on where they're from and so forth. And what it helps us to realize is that some of these kids that we teach, they actually do work with their families, and they may not be able to carry the academic load that we expect of them, although our expectations are high. If they have to, the family has to decide between money coming in to keep a roof over their heads and clothes on their backs versus a child going to school and doing homework in the evening times, we all know what the choices would be. So that lets us know that as far as how we can address it, we have to make students comfortable so we know their situation, so we can provide that support, and we may have to make some compromises that we may not have had to make before as far as academics are concerned and providing extra opportunities, not so much for makeup work, but just for work to be done, period, to make time for them to be able to do that. And just keep in mind that all families are not made up in the same way and are not facing the same challenges.
Right, very good. And you guys have that game because in 8th grade, you have students who are from that country. It's Haiti, Haiti. So that is truthfully a struggle that those people have on that island. And I believe that game was created by a student. When our students learn STEM, this is how that game was created, because a student took a STEM class, maybe a coding class or something like that, and they created that game. And then my blue group, can I have someone share? Or 2 people?
I'll hold it up, Dr. Gilbert.
Okay, so of course we did visual, and our questions went from paragraph down to words, so we made a funnel. Everything got smaller. So we really just kind of compiled what we all thought was important. So we had numbered the paragraphs in the article that we had to read. So some of the paragraphs that resonated with us is the first one about teaching strategies and materials, and about having, about needing more.
Yeah.
That was the one about the student who did the lab, and she said she understood it more when she did the lab as opposed to when she did the actual work.
Yes. Okay, and then there was also 3. Dr. Gilbert, you pointed this one out. Do you want to say?
It kind of corresponds with the first one in the sense that ELL learners, they enjoy the labs and they get benefit a lot from the experience, but then when it's time to access the language that explains their experience, they have difficulty accessing that language, and it makes their teachers think they don't understand, but in truth they do. They just don't know how to communicate it.
And then several of us chose providing tools to teachers, which was paragraph 10. I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory about us needing the tools to help all of these students access the curriculum. And then paragraph 20 was about creating a sense of community so that they buy in and take responsibility as well, the students themselves. And so that, we're establishing relationships with them as well. And then 24 was a big one, and we have a quote from that one down here too, about time to teach to proficiency, when the students are expected to learn the language so quickly, and yet they're still held to the same standards. So we don't always have the time to really stop and slow down when we're still expected to teach the whole curriculum for our respective subject areas and grade levels. One of those sentences was, it takes 5 to 7 years to acquire the language to begin with. And that the No Child Left Behind really kind of discounts that. And in this,
No, it definitely does not.
yeah. And then there was Another one about taking ownership. Do we have that?
Yeah, in this way, we all take ownership of students and everyone can become a language teacher.
Yes. So like it was about with the community of the school, all of us taking ownership as educators for those students and not just like say in our school, just leaving it to Ms. Digsby. Then there was about team teaching between ELL teachers and grade level teachers. Do we have that? Because I'm trying to, I'm sorry.
Team teaching between ELL teachers and grade level class well, but teachers have to have mutual respect for each other, clearly defined roles, and opportunities for shared planning.
Yes, and that also goes back to, that's something that's not just for ELL, but as a whole, as a school, for all students that require differentiation. Then we funneled it down to the words that all resonated with us: ownership, responsible, and everyone. These were actually kind of together. Proficiency, community, and sheltered. Which sheltered was part of one of the terms for the curriculum discussed in the article.
The sheltered English,
yes,
instruction.
So
very good, thank you. Their article was entitled "Whose Student Is She?" And as they pointed out, I'm glad that they saw that the ESOL teacher is not the only one who is responsible for the ESOL students in the class. They are in everybody's classes, so we all share that responsibility. So I'm glad that you guys pointed that out. I would like to show you a video. Some people have seen it, but a lot of people in the room are new. So you may not have seen the video. I'm going to play a piece of it. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's 20 minutes long. So I will stop it at a certain point. You guys have a handout that I just passed out. That handout goes with this video. As you watch the video, I would love for you to respond to the questions as you watch the video.
Do you have some more copies?
I do need to share.
Ms. Digsby, do you have more copies or do we need to share?
They have some at the other tables already too, so.
Are there any extra copies at any other tables?
Yeah, we have
Well, it's okay to share it. That's fine. You can share it too. Okay? All right, Mr. Kyle, can you press the link?
¿Quieres una tortilla? Sí.
La vida sin riesgo no es
¿Qué estás estudiando?
Rendí el examen de matemáticas en la escuela. Tu primer examen en Estados Unidos, ¿eh?
Ángela, dale un huevo al niño. Él necesita comer.
Está bien.
Para que tenga mucha energía.
Tomamos. ¿Quieres una tortilla? Sí.
everyone listen up. So we're gonna want to work on we get our answer, the information in the story, okay? We're gonna go ahead and factual tests and try the active test. Test, open up. We're gonna do 3. You gotta read. First on page 3.
¿Qué dijo? ¿A poco va a empezar el examen? No, es una práctica.
We're going to take notes from the story and we're going to turn it into a math problem and we're going to walk through it together, okay? So the boy ran 3 blocks. So everyone write 3 blocks. How long did it take him to run 3 blocks? Michelle?
6 minutes.
Very good, 6 minutes. All right, so then we take 3 blocks and 6 minutes,
¿Por qué el
right?
niño corre con los bloques? ¿Qué? Sí, ¿por qué el niño corre con los bloques?
Okay, so the question can go on to ask us, how long will it take him to run 20 blocks? What do we do? How many minutes is that per block?
8 minutes.
Try and remember to raise your hand if you want to answer, okay? No, it's not 8 minutes. Michelle?
18 minutes?
Nope, not 18 minutes. Yes, Enrique?
40?
40, yeah, very good. How'd you get 40?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, 40 is the right answer. How did you get it?
I forgot.
You forgot. Okay. Does anyone know how we get 40? Yes, Moises. Yep, that's right. Very good. Great. Can you tell us how you got that?
40?
Yep, very good. But can you explain to the class what you did here, how you got that?
40?
Okay, all right, Joe, do you want to lose your recess?
No.
Okay then. Thank you, Lisa.
Can you help me, please?
Can you take a walk with me? I don't want you to worry about the test, okay, Moises?
Sí, estoy preocupada sobre el examen. La directora Rosa dijo que todavía tenemos que hacer.
Just try your best, okay? Do you understand? Not importante.
Sí, sí es importante.
You're right, Moises, it is important. I have to go. I'm sorry.
Disculpen, está todo un poco apretado aquí. Yes, they are. Tal vez en el suelo.
They used to be in Spanish, right?
Yes, they used to be. Muy bien, perfectamente.
So, can we translate it? Just the math part. I have this one student, Moises, and he would totally ace it.
Come on, we can't. We're not supposed to talk to the kids in Spanish technically. I like Moises. He's a good kid, but we need to focus on the kids that are. Gracias, señor. Michelle. He's very
close to being proficient.
Right. It's 5% proficiency this year. If we don't do any better this year, I don't know what's going to happen. So just please make sure that Michelle follows it up. Okay? I have to. Sorry, excuse me.
Okay, Mr. Carter, you can stop the video. Okay, so can you share with me anything that you saw on in the video? Can you respond to any of those questions that I posed to you? what did the teacher do right?
She advocated for the student.
She did advocate for the student, yes.
And when he wanted to answer, she did have a positive, welcoming attitude towards his participation.
Good, yes. Anything else that she did right?
She had an illustration of what they were working on. She had the block, picture of the blocks.
Right, and right, he didn't understand what blocks were. He thought that they were the baby blocks that the toddlers play with, right? Miss Rosita?
Well, I've already had it.
Miss Kidd?
She also had a student nearby that could help him when he kind of got snagged up on some of the language, or hear some of the words.
Very good. All right, what about number 2? What could she change? Miss Shirley?
Well, she could have, in that specific instance, asked him to show his math work on the board instead of try to explain it.
Verbally, right?
Yes.
Good. Anything else that she can change?
Well, since she knows that he's there, when she was given directions at the beginning, she could have paid a little more attention. Well, she needed to calm the class down first before she started speaking. And then that person, that student that was sitting next to her, maybe she could have waited to give that student a real opportunity to explain to him what was going on, instead of just barreling on.
Okay, good.
For me, I
Ms.
thought she
Purcell?
could have asked the student, how did he come up with his answer? She kept saying, can you tell me? But she never said, can you show me?
Okay.
Can I look at the paper to see how you came up with it?
Like rephrase the question with words that might resonate.
Okay, good. All right, what about number 3?
She could have had the other student that he was asking questions to translate what he said if she wanted him to tell him.
Very good. Right.
He asked for help, like he wrote down I need help, but the teacher just turned around and walked away from him. She didn't help him, like it doesn't show that she actually sat down with him and helped him. She just moved on to other ones.
Right, and that goes back to what we talked about from the very beginning of this year, building relationships.
In the problem itself that was being presented, it seems like she could have had a general graphic organizer that allowed all the students, not just Tom, to dissect the problem for the numbers or the data that was relevant for solving the problem, and match it with a picture. So it's this number, and this is the picture that goes along with 20 blocks, and it's this number, and that's the runner. You know, like, and that way he was behind because he didn't understand exactly what was being asked of him.
Right.
So
but see, when you guys read in this article in the Blue Group, you remember you read that sometimes the students they know what to do, but they're not able to express it to us. So one of the things that I see that she could have changed was to provide a way for him to respond. All right, she did not give him the words. She did not go over the vocabulary blocks, right, or run. He had a picture in his head of what run means. So the vocabulary and not providing the way to give the answer. Mr. Ferguson?
Well, she continued to ask it the exact same way, even after seeing him being embarrassed by the kids laughing. It seemed like she thought for a little while, but she didn't come out with anything different. So all of the different answers about showing something, vocabulary, different things, but just be sensitive to the fact that he was participating and be sensitive. Not to ask it the exact same way until you could be creative enough to try to pull it out, because the kids started laughing even more after he kept saying the same thing.
Right, exactly. Good.
At times I feel like that even as an opportunity for teachers to address the idea of community in the classroom and creating a safe learning environment for all students. And she was not explicit about that either after they essentially bruised. I mean, that's going to prevent him from being willing to participate in the future. And so she also didn't really support that idea of a community for all.
Okay, very good. All right, what about legal or ethical? Does anybody have any ideas on the legal and ethical implications? All right, well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Mr. Carter, you can switch to the next screen. Okay, the rationale for this research, you guys can follow along in the PowerPoint presentation handout that I gave to you now. The rationale for this research was to, all of these bullet points, intentionally create a sense of empathy, which we did. When we had the students present to you guys, I had an overwhelming response from you guys on the way that you felt when they came to present to you. So there was empathy established throughout our school from most people. But we have to move past that point now, and I'll show you why in a minute. The student perceptions at the beginning, before they presented to you guys, there was a perception that maybe their teachers do not care. It may or may not be true, but that's just their perception of what they feel inside. The second one is the growth in newcomer population. We have been wavering between 6 and 10 students at Turner Middle School when we have newcomer students. So already I've had one newcomer student move. Right now we have 6 right now. And then the CCRPI data, can you click on the data link? And district. And school. Okay, we're going to stop right here for a second. When you look in the middle of the screen, you see our CCRPI score. And then if you look below it, you see the challenge points. Does anybody in the room know how many challenge points we should have? Or how many we can have, put it that way? What's the maximum points that we can have? Anybody? The challenge points? 10. What do we have? We have a 1.4, but look who's included. We have EL, SWD students, but you guys know this, it's no secret, that most of our students, our EL students, fall under both categories. Most. I have one class where all of them, except for one student, is a regular ed student. Everyone else is EL and SWD. Can you click on middle school, where it says choose a report type? Performance flags. And can you scroll? Okay, last week you guys had or all of us, we had a professional development last week on Wednesday. And you guys got to see the CCRPI data, but you didn't see it in color. You didn't see the codes that you see on the screen right